Hello, everybody, and welcome on this fine, for me, Sunday morning, but for you, potentially Sunday afternoon or evening, to Personal Best Precipice, or as the kids say, PB Precipice. Gamers, it is so good to be back. I am Adef, of course, your host. I know I was absent 2 weeks ago for PB Precipice, but the wonderful Fant filled in for me, and I'm so thankful for that. I'm also thankful for all of you that showed support on that stream, but I am back. We are here with a wonderful show. But before we get into it, let's get into some announcements, as is tradition. That's a dangerous catchphrase. I didn't mean to do that. If you enjoyed Frost Fatales, which ended yesterday, the rest of the VODs will be up on YouTube very shortly. That's youtube.com/GamesDoneQuick. And later this month, the Frame Fatales Game of the Month celebration will be starting March 26th on Hotfix. And if you are watching on YouTube, go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content, starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. But, as I say often, that is in the future. What is in the present is that Kitten is on screen. And gamers, we have to welcome D Dangers to the platform. I don't even have the Twitch chat up. I'm pulling up the Twitch chat. Dangers, how are you?
You know, that's probably a good idea. I should have it open as well. I'm doing great.
Just completely forgot.
I forgot we were live on Twitch.
I forgot we were live. I was just hanging out.
Just hanging out with a couple of friends. That's what we're doing here on the Games Done Quick channel.
That is what it's all about. But Dangers, you're here on PB Precipice, and something people may or may not know is that this show, PB Precipice, was born out of an idea that I had to run a one-off show called PB Precipice. And in that one-off show where we were just trying to fill days, I filled it with D Dangers playing Super Mario Galaxy any %.
That's me.
And
I was doing the other Mario game.
How does it feel to be back?
It feels glorious. I'm not going to lie. It feels really good to be back, especially because now we get to showcase my main game. So I get to pull out all the stops for this one.
All the stops. Stops were held back last time.
There were a couple stops before.
But this time, no more stops are being held. They're all being released, as it were.
Into the wild.
Into the wild.
So, into the Games Done Quick channel for you to experience yourselves.
Yes. Dangers, how long have you been speedrunning Super Mario Odyssey?
I was not an OG. I didn't start streaming on Twitch until 2018, about May. So that's when I started speedrunning Super Mario Odyssey. So it was about 6 months after the game came out. So it's still a long time. We're looking at about 4 years almost.
Yeah.
But
very nice. And you know, I can't the gamers can't see it yet, but I can't help but notice that your PB is, well, quite close to a certain minute barrier. I have to know, is that minute barrier your and we'll get into that, your final goal? Is the 58 your final goal in the game, or is there something further?
You know, I always say that speedrunning never has an end. As long as you still have the drive and the passion to continue grinding the game, then the sky is the limit, really. So I think 58 is a good barrier to accomplish, and you know, it's one that I think only like 15 people have accomplished at this point in the game on a leaderboard that has over 3,000 entries. So it's pretty prestigious for sure. But you know that there's more to accomplish. In fact, just yesterday on my channel, I showed off something called the Best Theoretical Time video, which is something that the whole community pours their heart into to kind of show off what is humanly possible in Super Mario Odyssey, and that time is 54:15.
Wow.
So gives you kind of an impression of how much wiggle room that we as real-time attack runners still have to go.
So. I think something amazing about that to me is that, you know, I've been around speedrunning a while. I know you have as well.
Yes.
But in the early days of Super Mario Odyssey, I mean, the 59 was coveted.
Yes.
And it was a hard-fought battle for the sub-hour. And, you know, many runners are still, understandably, it's very hard, trying to break that hour barrier. But now we're having conversations with some runners about 57 or below, which is absolutely wild to me that, like, you know, the game is just being pushed to such a precipice at the moment.
I see what you did there.
But, you know, Dangers, what do you think is realistic to see from our world record contending runners in the coming months?
Well, Tyrone, I would say he's the current world record holder. His time is 57:21. He has his eyes on 56. We all kind of agree that, you know, the progress of the game is coming to a bit of a standstill unless something huge is discovered. 56 is probably the last minute barrier we'll see for a long, long time. But he's also, could we say, on the precipice of breaking across that barrier himself. All he needs is that one run that just does everything right, and he can make that happen. But of course, that's extremely difficult. This game is a game of like extreme precision. You have to be kind of on your A game. You have to fight the game a little bit because we are talking about the Switch, and the Switch drops inputs all the time. And on top of that, you know, it's an extremely precise game because you know, you think of Mario 64 and you think of how you can use Mario's abilities and like fighting against that game's kind of, I don't want to call it dated, but it is dated controls. This game is smooth and buttery, and the amount of things that you can do with Cappy and Mario together, you know, opens this game up to a lot of possibilities. So you have to be on your A game and you have to be playing perfectly. And I guess I kind of hope that I can do that here today, because if I get a 58 on GDQ, that'd be pretty poggers. I think
he'll scream. He'll scream.
I did say I would scream.
He'll scream live on stream. And gamers, I think we should dally no further. Dangers, whenever you are ready, let's pop over to the game feed and you can explain what the heck. We're not looking at video game right now. We're looking at calendar right now. This isn't a calendar speedrun. That's called just being alive.
I think you're right. Not a game you want to speedrun, by the way.
No, ideally you do a low percent. Or rather 100%.
Yeah, you try to max percent it is what you try to do.
Okay, max percent.
So yeah, we're looking at this. This is how we start every speedrun of Super Mario Odyssey, any percent. And you might be thinking this looks like you're starting an Animal Crossing speedrun or something, and that's kind of what I think anyway. But I guess I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And the convenient thing about this is that you're going to be able to see. I don't see my timer on the screen anywhere. I do have my splits up for our production crew, so they can kind of follow along and know when I'm actually going to start the run. But essentially, we're looking at the calendar, and this is not today's date. It's pretty close, actually, but it's not today's date. It is actually my birthday, March 13th, 2022, at 1:53 a.m. This day is important. I'm going to go ahead and start it. I've started my timer at a specific time, and I'm waiting for basically a countdown to happen, and I'm going to start the game at exactly the right moment. And this date is important because it's the day that daylight savings time happens. And I'm just going to leave it at that, and we'll get to why that's important when we get to that point in the run, assuming I don't reset a bunch of times. But yeah, Super Mario Odyssey any percent. Let's go.
This trick. And we'll explain it more for sure when we get to Sand Kingdom. But it is so cool. I think it is the absolute coolest thing.
It's pretty wild. And it's kind of interesting that it took us so long to discover it. Like, we knew about the seeds in the game, and we knew that it required real time, and somebody just kind of put the pieces together like, maybe we could progress an hour just all at once if we do this thing. And sure enough, so.
But we're into it. We're into it.
We're gaming.
I'm listening to the Super Mario Odyssey soundtrack, and it just got so loud.
Oh my gosh.
Explain away, Dangers.
The way this show works, you're saying that we have a timer, but the timer is just for how long the show's been going, right?
No, the timer on screen will reset whenever you do.
Good. Sounds good. I thought we had like a timer for the whole show or something.
No, that's just the clock.
That's just the clock. That's right.
I don't know what time zone you're in. Mountain, maybe? Unclear.
Yes, mountain.
So basically just take 11 a.m. and add how much time has happened.
Got it.
Science.
Quick maths. Yep.
Hey, Dangers, what's this thing where the frog is like, why is he turning so much?
That's a great question. You might think that going in straight lines is like the smart thing to do, right? But no, actually. This game calculates speed based on like all of the axes. So if you're traveling through all of the axes, you do something called vectoring. So we actually try and do all of our high jumps in big curves. because Mario will pick up speed. And that's true of whether he's in a capture or not. So if you see me doing like big jumps off of buildings and stuff like that, you're going to see me curving through the air. And that's just because you get a lot of speed by doing that.
I'd never heard like a full explanation of vectoring before.
Yeah. At least, like, we obviously can't know for sure because we haven't been able to dig into the meat and potatoes of this game, but judging by some of the other Mario games that kind of follow some of the same physical properties, that's kind of what we've come up with, is that, you know, the more axis you're traveling through, the more the game kind of has to adjust and calculate. So you tend to just kind of pick up speed, pick up momentum.
All right, so there's a big old trick coming up in a second.
There sure is.
So this is a Dino Skip, or DSS, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
So there used to be a way to get up to Madame Broodal quickly called Dino Skip, or rather, yes, Dino Skip.
Just the regular DS.
Yes.
Nintendo DS.
Nintendo DS handheld device. And so the idea was you would use the Dino on a trampoline to get up there quickly, but this is the skip of Dino Skip, i.e. Dino Skip. And this is a pretty heavy reset point. Just kidding.
Not today.
This is a really, really sick trick. And the bonk is included.
Yeah, that's RNG manip for later.
Yeah. So basically, there's like this really small bit of collision you can stand on that like outcropping on the wall. So you use some like tricky Mario Odyssey movement to stand there, and then just do some fancy jumping. There's like no glitches. It's just like sick movement.
It's just genuinely raw platforming that makes that trick work. And the fact that they included a tiny little bit of the land, like geometry in this game is really strange. And they include a lot of things that can count as floors or count as slopes or count as whatever. So we abuse that a lot when it comes to finding ways to get around the stages in this game. But yeah, getting that first try is pretty rare, especially for me at 11 a.m., which is usually when I'm still sleeping. So I'm kind of impressed by that. And also, this kingdom in general, this first like 10 minutes of the run is very reset heavy because of the DSTA trick that we set up at the beginning. We're basically racing against the clock for the first like 6 minutes. And if we're too slow, then we miss our window for the trick to work. So if we like mess up DSS, or if we lose enough time on our way to getting to Sand Kingdom, then the run loses even more time because we miss our window. So you might as well just consider it done.
Probably worth explaining the moon clip as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What just happened there? Dangers, you're supposed to come out of the alcove like a normal person.
I don't know what just happened. I have no idea.
So, interesting little quirk about the moon animation. It kind of like, imagine Odyssey's taking place on a stage. When you collect the moons, you're pulled off of the stage. You kind of break the fourth wall. And we can utilize that. We can kind of take advantage of that. So if we do a backflip and a cap throw, it kind of gives Mario bizarre movement properties. If we do that exactly when we're grabbing a moon, it'll put Mario in a position where he's basically inside of a wall or inside of a ceiling. So he gets pulled out of the stage, the moon animation happens, but when he gets put back on the stage, he's suddenly out of bounds. That's what we call a moon clip. You're going to see, I'm going to attempt 3 of them in this run. One of them is extremely important in Wooded Kingdom, because that one saves about 30 seconds with some routing. But that one there saves about 2 or 3, and then there's one later on that is pretty negligible as well. It's just kind of for flashiness, more or less. But, you know, going out of bounds is cool in the Super Mario Odyssey speedrun, so.
It is cool. Here it is, the fated moment.
Yeah, so this seed here usually takes 20 real-time minutes to grow. But because we did that trick, as I'm inside this little like area with the employees back here, that time has ticked over to 2 a.m., but because it's daylight savings time, it actually goes to 3 a.m. So the game thinks that an entire hour has passed, and so the seed is fully grown. Otherwise, it would still just be a little sapling, but that makes that moon really fast.
Yeah, it's just like a hard check. Like it's just, you know, how much time, let's subtract the timestamp. from when the seed was placed to now, and the beauty of daylight. It's such a smart solution, dude. Like,
Yeah.
daylight savings time advances an hour, and I have known about this trick for what, several years now, and it makes me smile every time. It's so cool.
Right? Yeah, and the fact that we figured it out, and the fact that it works too, because we were like, well, maybe the game runs on its own clock or something like that, but no, it just goes completely off the Switch clock. And we also utilized the sub area too, because if we were just standing outside, we would watch the seed grow. Like, it would go through its entire animation, and we would be sitting there watching it happen. But we utilized the sub area so that, like, it kind of skips past that animation. All right, let's see if I can get the first dram of the day. Nice.
Very nice.
Okay, not bad.
See, a dram. The namesake of the trick is still funny to me.
Yeah.
But the dram is just basically like setting up Cappy in a location and keeping it there, and then shaking the controller right after you like get a move or do something to quickly go to a different place when Cappy captures the thing.
Yes. The more practical name is Capture Warp. It's the one that I prefer to use to explain what's happening.
Yes.
Because people are like, what does dram mean?
It was
dram.
Can I
Dram
take
is the
this?
name. Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I love this. And it's one of the only things that I know the history of this well. So I'm gonna usurp your commentary here.
Please do. Take it away from me.
So there's this speedrunner who's been around even longer than me, called Dram55. Great dude. He was a Super Mario World speedrunner for a really long time. And has speedrun lots of Mario games and lots of other things. He's done GDQ runs in the past, like the far past. But anyway, Dram's great dude, and when Super Mario Odyssey first came out, he was like, oh, well, I'll speedrun this. And he was looking for stuff, and he found that. And he uploaded it and was like, hey, my only request is that we don't name this trick after me. He was like, let's come up with a name that has to do with what it is. So the community named it the Dram, and it makes no sense, and people have no idea what it is.
He promptly quit the game shortly after.
That is genuinely true.
Even better than that, like that was just something that he theorized. He never actually like implemented into runs. It was something that he was like, "Do you think that we could like leave Cappy in a place?" And it turns out that you can under certain circumstances. And then when they started utilizing it into runs, they were like, "Well, Dram was the one who found it, so I guess it makes sense to call it that." And then he expressed his disinterest in us doing that. I wasn't in the community at this time, so I'm not going to take personal responsibility for this. Then he expressed disinterest, and so a trick later in the run that has absolutely nothing to do with the capture work mechanic is also called Dram because he expressed disinterest, as is tradition. So, welcome to Super Mario Odyssey.
I love that I was like, this is the thing I know the most history about, and I promptly got it wrong.
Hey, close though.
Close.
You got the details right.
So, thanks to our wonderful tech team, thank you, Railcoon. Dangerous splits are now visible beneath the game feed. So I like to sort of give an explanation of what the heck this is every time it's on PB Precipice. Basically, splits are a way to keep track of your progress mid-run, right? So like there's a global timer that Dangerous has, which is the big green number underneath, like midway through the game feed. So he's 10 minutes and change into the run, right? But the individual splits are the things on the left, and those show like, okay, in my PB, I got out of Lake Kingdom at 13:01.4. But Dangers is gauging how far ahead or behind he is of his PB, kind of arbitrarily, because I like to say that splits are arbitrary, because they are. But they're a great benchmark. So Dangers will have his splits on the left, and you can see his final split with his PB, 59:01, at the moon on the far right of the left side, which is also reflected in the estimate below the PB Precipice name on the bottom right of your screen. So if you ever want to know Danger's current PB, just check the bottom right. And then there are also some things on the right of his timer that have useful information. I wouldn't worry so much about those if you're not that familiar with splits, but they basically just reflect like some overarching info about Danger's career with Odyssey, essentially.
Yes, more or less, yeah, because LiveSplit does a pretty good job of keeping a database of like everything you've ever done with that set of splits. You kind of build up like a sort of sentimental value with the game through your splits because, you know, everything that you've ever done has been recorded there. And they become a very vital tool because they tell you things like how fast, like what is the fastest you've ever done a particular segment before. And so that's where a lot of that information on the right comes from, is like, it's telling me that based on like the best that I've ever done in this game across all of the different segments, what time could I expect if I played perfectly? Of course, those can always improve. And that's when you hear, if you ever hear speedrunners talk about golds or sometimes rainbows, then that's what they're talking about, is like their absolute best segment.
And Dangers, what was that clip through the wall in Lake Kingdom?
That's what's called a corner clip. You can imagine that like all of the times or all of the places where like two walls meet together, or like a floor meets a wall, or like the ceiling meets a wall or something, they just kind of forgot to fill in the cracks. And so if you approach the corner of a wall at exactly the right angle, sometimes you can just slip through it. And it just so happens that because that corner is like in a little archway, we can use Mario's shadow to kind of set ourselves up really easily. I shouldn't say easy, that trick's not easy, but, you know, easier. And we can just like kind of slip through it. And then we did some maneuvering out of bounds to get a checkpoint, and also a moon that would otherwise be very slow for us to get, and save a little bit of time. And it also means that we get to skip the boss. And you're going to be noticing that we do as little story stuff as possible in this run. And that's on purpose, because the story stuff has a lot of cutscenes and it's kind of slow.
So Dangers is currently 5.5 seconds ahead of his PB, as reflected by the green little delta on the lake split on the left. And Wooded Kingdom is pretty tough. If you have jam emotes, they will be necessary in a moment.
Absolutely, yep.
But yeah, Wooded Kingdom's really tough. There's also another moon clip here in a moment that is pretty pivotal. It's the one Dangers was talking about earlier that is like really essential.
This one right here. Nice.
Yeah, you typically have to have, to access this moon Danger's about to get, you have to have the capture that blows up walls, which is not accessible right now, at least not easily and traditionally. And so Danger's is sort of in like an area that you're supposed to enter later, and he's accessing these moons early. Also, the run up that memento, or the run up that slope is quite tough. You're supposed to use the like flowers, but
they're also not here yet.
Yeah, Danger's a god, so just mashing.
If you go up the right side, you can actually do the whole wall like that. It's not very practical because the rocket flowers will make you go faster, but yeah, this is the part where you get your jammies out. This kingdom is really just probably the scariest one in the run. I reset here a lot. It's very vertical, so if you fall off the stage, you can basically expect to have to reset.
Will he bonk the bird? That's what everyone's asking themselves right now.
The question on everybody's lips.
So Danger's is making a lot of this movement over these gaps look like so easy, but none of this is really possible without vectoring.
Yes.
Especially at the speed he's going. Certainly if you like set up Cappy and did a roll jump into it, like, yeah, you could make a lot of these jumps. But at the speed at which he's going, vectoring is like the only way you can cross a lot of these gaps. He's also doing something really subtle that a lot of you, if you've never played this game, might not be catching on to. There's this thing called throw canceling.
Yes, roll canceling. Yeah.
Roll canceling that DD is doing all the time. Anytime you see Mario moving and like Dangerous suddenly throws Cappy, and you're like, why did you do that? No bird ball.
I missed the birdie.
Dangerous is basically throwing Cappy and pressing the B button at the same time. And this allows Dangerous to quickly get out of a roll and instantly change directions, which is really essential.
Very helpful.
Because otherwise you have to take this like big turn when you're rolling. But this allows Dangerous to keep his roll momentum and turn quickly.
Yeah, we think it's a byproduct of the buffer system. Buffering essentially just meaning like you can put an input in before you need it, and the game will give you kind of a grace period. So like you'll see me like starting a spin a lot of the time for spin pounds. Like you'll notice that I'm not doing a lot of like regular ground pounds. I'm doing a lot of spin pounds. Those spins are happening like while I'm in the middle of a dive or while I'm waiting for a cutscene. That's because you have to spin the control stick twice around. So this game is pretty lenient with its buffer system, which is really handy for us. We think that roll cancels have something to do with that, because the only way that you can otherwise leave a roll cancel is by doing a long jump, which resets your speed and is kind of slow to start, or you wait for the roll to end, which sometimes we don't have time for. So,
Hey, that's a nice split.
not bad.
The flooded sewer was really nice, by the way.
Yeah, we got the cycle. It felt pretty good. A little bit of context for my splits. They're scary for me to run against, and the reason being that a little bit of information about the stuff on the right side, maybe. So best possible time and sum of best. Sum of best is the time that I would get if I tied my gold splits on every segment. So gold being like the best I've ever done a segment. If I tied every best segment, then I would get a 58 flat. So the best possible time is a number that kind of continues to increase as the run goes on based on how much time I lose to those segments. Now, with that in mind, with that context kind of put into your brain, this run in the beginning had a lot of time losses. It had a lot of like mistakes and stuff. But from the Snow Kingdom onwards, so the second half of the run, I only lost 17 seconds to my best segments in a 30-minute chunk of the run. So it's kind of important for me to be somewhat far ahead by the time I get there. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard for me to keep up. Yeah, my late game is very, very, very good in my personal best. But, 11 seconds is pretty good. I'm not going to complain about that.
God Gamer.
All right, Lost is really fun.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite kingdoms, not just to watch, but also to play. This one slaps. Kind of the whole design around the route for Lost Kingdom is based on the fact that towards the middle of the beginning of the stage, that was a lot of positional arguments that don't make any sense. Towards the middle of the beginning of the stage, nice AF, good. So there's this little thing where this bird takes away Cappy, and you have to go get Cappy. You can't leave because you need Cappy to not just get moons, but also get back onto the ship. You have to go beat the bird, and there's this cutscene where the bird takes Cap away. It's this whole ordeal. So there's the bird right there. Dangers is intentionally avoiding that, and so the moon route is based around that. You're sort of going around the perimeter of the stage, avoiding this trigger, and it's really cool.
Yes, and then we kind of trick the bird into thinking that they've stolen Cappy, kind of a dumb bird, by approaching them from the back, a little bit of a sneak attack, and then we don't have to worry about that cutscene happening to us at all.
That's so sick. What is Precipice playing on? Recipe? No, Precipice is a real word. Precipice is a real word with a real definition. It just means the edge, the cliff. You are very close to getting the thing you want. You're on the precipice.
Yes. No, we just wanted to have a show involving recipes, but we wanted to start with the same letter as PB. So.
PB recipe. PB Precipice.
That was actually a really clean lost. I'm not going to complain about that one.
That looked real nice.
All right. This kingdom is scary. I could probably say that about all of them, though, to be honest. This run is... There's just a lot of scariness going on all over the place.
Run's not over till Bowser hits that gray block.
That's right. That's what my father, Chaos Pringle, used to say.
I didn't know he was your father.
Yes. One of many.
One could only be so lucky as to have as many fathers as you.
They impart a lot of their wisdom, if you've ever watched my streams. So.
Yeah, heck that Goomba, dude.
That's one of my favorite things about this run. It's just like, that poor Goomba just gets it.
Wrong place, wrong time.
Seriously.
Oh my god. I hate this room so much.
Oh, trust me too.
The forced camera angle.
All right, come back, Cappy. Okay. Or don't, that's fine. Yeah, right here.
That long jump was so late. It's disgusting, dude.
So that's another thing that this game kind of provides, the opposite of a buffer almost, is something called coyote frames. And when you're walking off of an edge or like running off of an edge or something like that, this game wants to give you a little bit of grace. So like if you time your jump a little bit incorrectly, it still gives you a couple of frames after you've walked off the edge of it to still get your jump out or still get your input out or whatever you wanted to do. Hence Coyote, kind of like Wile E. Coyote in the cartoons, how you would like suspend in the air and then drop, you know what I mean? After he realized. So, yeah. So Coyote frames are very, very useful because, yeah, you can typically stretch out just a little bit more distance by running off the edge of the platform. Now, this is actually one of the points of RNG in the speedrun. That was actually a really good fight. Somebody in the chat asking how nervous I am. Not really. I guess, you know, if we were on personal best pace going into Bowser's Kingdom, then maybe I might be a little bit nervous. But you do speedrunning for long enough, you see enough of your speedruns like get close to the end and then die and get close to the end again and die, and you go through that process enough times and you kind of get numb to it. And you're kind of like, okay, this is how I need to manage my nerves in order to actually succeed at the thing. So I find that I don't get as nervous anymore. It still happens, of course, but not nearly as bad as it used to.
There's also this thing that I say a lot that like when you're going for especially like a competitive time, or if you're close to getting like your goal time or whatever, your goal should be to try to do enough. You want to throw enough runs, right? Enough data points at the board that you encounter every situation.
Yep.
And by encountering every negative situation, you know what not to do in every situation is kind of a way to put it. And that is just a matter of like throwing runs like darts on the dartboard until you hit the bullseye. Like, you need to train your hands and your mind on all the bad positions on the dartboard until you get the position you want. And by that point, like, there's no reason to be nervous anymore until the end when, you know, you can't help it. But like, you know, 3/4 of the way through the run, halfway through the run, if you're on pace, you're like, well, yeah, I've seen enough situations in Luncheon that I feel pretty confident. Basically, getting to the point where your confidence is not misplaced.
Exactly. All right, this is total RNG. Oh my god, I got it. Wow.
7777 on his stream. Oh, you got any scream? I screamed. I'm screaming. Honestly, that's me when I scream.
I'm screaming.
I'm screaming.
All right, this room is super cool. When I do it right. Okay. Oh, hello, Bullet Bill. What are you doing there? All right, we're going to have to back this up somehow. All right, well, this first run might be on life support at this point. Oh, especially after that. Oh, boy. All right, I'm calling it. First reset of the day.
Oh, I'm screaming.
I'm screaming. I'm crying mostly.
I'm crying.
Actually, while I'm in here, I'm just going to showcase a little thing. Can just kind of like wiggle Mario into this corner. Please, I'm trying to showcase something, Mario. Can you do it? Can you do the thing? There we go. And you can just kind of exist in there.
Good.
Yeah, because why not, you know? Oops.
Sleep mode. Danger's done.
Yep, I'm going to bed. Good night, guys. Thank you for watching. Nope. So here's the struggle of Super Mario Odyssey speedrunning is that every time we do hit the reset button, we do have to do the whole daylight savings timer again to set ourselves up for Sand Kingdom. So, you know, sometimes I'll use this 20 seconds or whatever to practice something. Like maybe I could have practiced doing that room one more time before I went back into the run and started over. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, this is the central conceit of PB Precipice. The point of this show when I pitched it was that I wanted to showcase what speedrunning really looks like on like a traditional speedrunning stream. And so Dangers is allowed to reset. If you've been around for PB Precipice before, you know that there are lots of resets on PB Precipice. It's actually been quite some time since we've seen a proper... Oh, well, I guess I think Pleasantly Twisted may have PB'd 2 weeks ago. I don't know. But because I wasn't here. But at least while I've been hosting, it's been a while since we've seen like a proper PB because I keep having people on who have like crazy times in their games, which makes it much more difficult.
Fair.
But I'm excited to see if we can see one today.
Yeah, I feel like that was a pretty solid warm-up. I'm not going to lie. When I start my streams, I typically do not make it to Metro Kingdom on the first run, so I will take that.
Pleasantly Twisted did PB on the show. Pod.
Well, yeah, we go again, baby. If there's any other tricks that you saw that we missed the first time, there is quite a lot going on in this game, so feel free to point them out. But I am kind of glad.
What? Go ahead.
I am kind of glad that GDQ's got a showcase like this because I've always talked about like competitive speedrunning and how competitive speedrunning has a kind of a hard time catching hold because, you know, it's just kind of two people playing the same game side by side and hoping the other one makes more mistakes usually. You know what I mean? Like racing is kind of fun if it's just like a casual thing, but trying to like make it a viably competitive thing is really tough. I've always been more on board with trying to stay true to what speedrunning looks like and what it is, which is, you know, kind of a personal achievement, a personal development. You are not playing against somebody else, you're playing against yourself. And you know, any chance to kind of see what the process of that is like is, in my opinion, a good thing. So
this sort of appeals to the, I agree. Like, I think races are great and cool showcases for a marathon, no doubt.
Sure.
And they require a certain skill set. I would say like a racing skill set is very different than a traditional PB skill set.
You have to be a lot more lenient on yourself.
Exactly. More leniency.
Sure.
You need a lot more knowledge of backup strats and also like safer strats. And also like knowledge of your opponent. What will they go for? How are they doing? Et cetera, et cetera. But I agree with Dangers. I think a better showcase of speedrunning competition, as it were, is the sort of chase the record style.
Yep. I love those.
And chase the record is this sort of beautiful format that is currently being championed by ESA, where runners at a high level are given a benchmark. And the idea is you have like 3 days of attempts. You know, do attempts whenever you want over the course of these couple days or whatever. and the person with the best PB, best like new or the best time displayed during that period wins. And then there's sort of like placings that go down from there, and then there's extra bonus for like reaching the benchmark that they're trying to hit, so whether it be like 58 or 57 or whatever.
Yep. Or the world record, or
and speed gaming actually used to do stuff like this many years ago, which is a fun fact.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, I commentated one of the first ever, which was the Mega Man 1. I can't remember if it was called Chase Record or Break the Record, but it was a Mega Man 1 version of that with Dexter, Andy, Cool Kid, and I think White Hat. This was in, I had not gone to college yet. This had to have been in 2016. So this format has been championed by, and I think it was Feasel that was sort of, Feasel and Sinister One were sort of championing that at the time, I think.
Yeah.
And so it's really sick. It's a sick format that was sort of, theorized for a long time, and then ESA has kind of perfected, I think.
And I love to see more of it as well.
Same. I think it should be all over the
community.
place.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Pokemon community did a couple as well. I think there was like a Pokemon Let's Go one. I would love to, see more of that kind of stuff, especially when it comes to like showcasing, because the more you do them, I feel like the more you can drift away from the popular games. Because ESA has got a really, a good foothold on the whole format and stuff like that, but they tend to stick around like the games that are popular or relevant at the time, like Super Mario 64, for example. I think they did a Sunshine one. They've done Spelunky 2 when the game was relatively new. So the more of them you do, the more you get to kind of reach your tendrils into the depths and find some games that maybe are a little bit more niche. But niche does not necessarily, like, if they're not popular, that doesn't mean that they're like bad speedruns by any stretch of the imagination. It just means that, they've kind of lost their public eye. So using an event like that to bring it back would be pretty cool, in my opinion.
The Mario 64 120 star Break the Record live is, I think, one of the best in-person speedrunning things ever.
I would say that like that event was probably one of the most like iconic speedrunning moments in history. Like straight up. If you're like a speedrun historian, if you care about like moments in speedrunning, Cheese breaking the record at that event is got to be up there in like my top 5.
Dangers and I are literally just farming YouTube content for you. Take advantage of this.
Yes. Take advantage. Write it down. Go find it later, and you'll thank me later.
Here's another good YouTube video that someone should make. Why you should hire ADEF to be in your movie.
True.
And that's it.
How about we don't even need to make a video, we just make videos with ADEF in them.
And they're feature length. And they come out in movie theaters.
And they pay ADEF lots of money.
Yeah, that would be sick. All right, we're back in Sand Kingdom. I'm sure that is not the last time we will have a philosophical discussion about speedrunning in this course of this few hours.
I'm sure. I love talking about speedrunning.
Yeah, no, same. Honestly, it also, like, back in the day, we're back on it again. Back in the day, like, when I was in high school, I started speedrunning when I was in middle school. And at that time, and then also through high school, I did not, like, there were not people in my circles that played games, or at least that did speedruns, or were aware of it, because it was very niche at the time. So I had, like, no one to talk about speedrunning with, so I just, like, plague my family with, like, can you guys believe that so-and-so just got a double in Ocarina of Time? And they're like, uh-huh. And I'm like, yeah. But anyway, it was always a pleasure to go to in-person events because it felt like crazy to be able to say terms and people would know what I was talking about. And in the modern era, like, that feeling doesn't even really exist as much anymore because we're just constantly in contact with people now.
That's true, yeah. Twitch has kind of opened that up so that you're, like, constantly in a community like that. But that doesn't mean that, like, going to an in-person event has been cheapened at all.
No.
Like, it's amazing to be able to see those people in person and make dumb speedrunner jokes. Like, when you're going to the TGI Fridays and you do fence skip to save a minute from walking around, for example.
Yes.
Like, just dumb speedrunner stuff like that is just awesome.
Yes. And also, like, in the era of the content creator, it is really nice to have people that you're close with who understand the plagues and the meta of content creation.
Of course.
Because, you know, it's always good to be able to fraternize with, like, coworkers at a job, right? Who understand, like, oh, you know, my boss is this or work is this. And that's very difficult in a very solo operation like content creation.
Yes.
So it's just, like, epic to be able to be like, God, I hate editing down YouTube VODs. And everyone's like, yeah, that does suck, doesn't it? I'm like, oh, they get it.
Not my favorite thing to do either.
Yeah, I hate it. It's also worthless, but, you know, that's a different conversation.
We do it for the content, baby.
We do it for the everything I do for the content.
What is this that's happening? Okay. You know what? That's how we're going to do the notes today.
That's the intended way. You collect them one by one.
That's right. Definitely very fast to do that.
I would say so.
Okay, not too bad. We're actually on a better pace right now than we were last run, and I'm probably going to regret saying that immediately, but, you know, it's fine.
He's gaming.
Everything I do is for the content, and I just wanted to point that out for the content, baby.
The Donkey Kong tent.
The Donkey Kong tent.
Yeah.
That I think you got the wrong game, AF.
Not in New Donk City.
Yeah, the new Donkey Kong tent city.
This is good.
I'm getting kind of lost. I don't know about you.
I'm always lost.
The concrete jungle out there
Yes, it is.
in new Donkey Kong tent city.
Dude, the rat rush. The rat race in Donkey Kong Tent City. You could really lose yourself.
Oh, easy.
Gotta have
concrete
a good
jungle.
therapist if you live in Donkey Kong Tent. Or NDKC, as they call it.
That is what they say.
Hey, you have that shirt that says I heart NDKC.
New Donkey Kong tent.
New Donkey Kong Tent coming this week.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I admittedly am making this look really easy. It is not. That trick works. Like I said, you're basically finding like a tiny little sliver in the wall and using it to slip through the crack. So there is very little leniency there. Like, I have to be on a very specific line in order to make that trick work. And in order to find it that quickly, I'm kind of impressing myself right now, to be honest.
Oh my God, he's impressing himself.
I am. I'm so impressed right now.
Why don't you get a room?
What, with myself?
Yeah.
You're right, I should. Getting a little carried away.
Ooh woo.
Ooh woo.
That's gonna be an
Indeed.
E-wee from me, dog. Can you believe E-wee is over a year old?
I cannot believe that. But wasn't that, like, didn't we do, like, Super Mario 3D World co-op together? Wasn't that the birthplace?
I see, actually, I think E-wee was born in Fall Guys.
Oh, right.
It was you, me, Fur, and GTA's playing Fall Guys. That's where E-wee was born, and then E-wee evolved in the 3D World playthrough.
Right. Wasn't that also Fur in GTA's? I think it was.
Yep.
All right, we're in Wooded Kingdom again, just like that. Maybe I should be on the GDQ show more often, because, like, when I do this on my regular streams, I don't get to Wooded Kingdom until, like, 3 hours in. So, maybe I should just be on Preview Precipice more often. This is helping, I think.
Poggies.
Poggy Woggies.
Poggy Woggies. Hey, Dangerous, how many moons do you get in any percent?
We get the bare minimum, as you can imagine, which in this case is 124. Don't ask why that's the number. It just kind of works out that way.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, you're allowed to ask, but I won't have a solid answer for you. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'm not gonna ask you. So, in order to progress in Super Mario Odyssey, I'm just gonna go ahead and explain, I guess. In order to progress in Super Mario Odyssey, each kingdom has like a certain minimum required amount of moons, and you can tell what that minimum is by looking in the top left corner of the screen. You can see how there's like these hollowed out circles, and we're filling them in as we get moons as we go. So in order to progress to the next kingdom, we need to have all of those circles filled in. And when you do that for every single kingdom as you go through the run, the number ends up being 124. And I don't know why they picked that number, to be honest. It's like +4 of what they've done in every other game so far. But there are 880 total moons in this game, so it doesn't even scratch the surface on how many you can get.
124 has some interesting factors.
I bet.
1, 2.
Oh, no. No.
Mario, push
so
against
sad.
the wall.
Just go back in, Mario.
I shouldn't have brought up math, dude. Actually, we could take the first break here.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So we're going to take the first break, gamers. I know, so upsetting. How could the run possibly die? Well, good news, it's going to do that a few more times.
Yes.
But gamers, do not go anywhere. There will be more PB Precipice, more dangers, more Super Mario Odyssey any percent in just a few minutes. Literally, like, we're just getting up, walking around, getting some water for a second. I recommend you do the same. We will be back in just a few minutes. Don't turn those dials if you're watching on an old CRT. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hot Fix. My name is Adef, and this is PB Precipice. We have Dangers playing Super Mario Odyssey any percent. But before we get back into things, I just want to give some quick announcements here. If you have any ideas for your own show or one-off events, feel free to go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to submit your ideas. Your subs and bits help support weekly Hotfix content. Please consider supporting our daily content by subscribing or cheering. Thank you, viewers like you. And tune in tomorrow starting at 7 p.m. Eastern for Awfully Silly, a show about games that might show up in the awful or silly block. And after that, stay tuned for That's Never Happened Before, a show about explaining glitches. But we are here today with PB Precipice. Gamers, get your emotes in the chat, and Dangers whenever you're ready. Take it away. Oh my God, he started the countdown. Well, that was so smart.
I figured we might as well, because we got to wait 20 seconds anyway, so. But yeah, it's good to be back. How was your break?
My break was
You stretch your
great.
leggies?
I did stretch my leggies.
Good. If you didn't, then it's not a break. Those are the rules. So
I'm always stretching my leggies, dude.
good. Good, good. I hope everybody in the chat did as well. All right, let's see if we can make some magic happen. I did tell my own community, my own chat that I've been holding on to this PB specifically for this show. There have been a lot of situations where we've been on like a really good run, like a really good tear, like 20 seconds ahead going into like the second half of the game, and then I've just kind of thrown it to something. So if we can make it happen here, that would be pretty interesting. It'd be pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
You're pretty cool, not gonna lie.
Oh, thanks. Ooh woo.
Ooh, woo, dude.
Ooh woo, dude.
Ooh, woo, dude. Surf's on, bro.
Yo, bro.
You ever hanging with your bros out at high tide, and then like the neap tide comes in, you say, ooh, woo, brothers.
So relatable.
You ever hold hands with one of your boys and think, ooh, woo?
Every weekend, bro.
Every weekend, bro. Anyway.
I already lost a second in this run because I missed a thing.
That's probably because of me, to be honest with you.
I don't think so, but you can take credit for it if you want. That's okay.
Cool.
There is a strat when you pull that lever and you like wait for the bridge to appear.
Lever? We can't let this stand. Lever?
Yeah. Is this another one of those like regional like tomato things?
You gonna say darts now?
Yeah.
Go to Tim Hooper, whatever it's called.
Tim Hooper.
What's that place? The Canadian.
Tim
Hortons.
Just say Timmy's. It's easier.
Timmy's.
Tim Hoopers. I'm gonna call it that now.
Tim Hoopers.
Yeah, head on over to Tim Hooper's. Get yourself a pack of Timbits and a pack of darts there, bud.
Pack of Timbits there, bud. Can't wait to go watch my boys on the ice this weekend.
Put on your snowshoes, get on your moose, and let loose, you know?
Aye. Supposed to get about 100 centimeters this weekend.
Ooh, a Buddha-meter, eh?
Hey.
Oh, man. Relatable, though.
I realized halfway through that they don't do inches up north.
So you're like, wait, quick, say a large number.
A meter's like 3 feet of snow.
Yeah. We don't get that much snow. Well, yeah, sometimes maybe. Not all at once, though. I'm kind of fortunate where I live in Canada. It tends to kind of ebb and flow, and there tends to be like a period where it melts for like a week and then it comes back. But out east, if it snows, it just stays there all winter. So you get like a frappe snowland in Mario Kart 64 situation, you know, like that end bit with the big snow drifts.
Or like Snow Kingdom, where there's like massive chunks hiding people.
Yes. That's right.
You know the saying, when it rains it pours?
Yes.
Is there an equivalent for snowing?
I don't think so, actually. That's an interesting statement to think about. I don't think so. But it is very like funny, like how weather is so relative, I guess, because, you know, south of the border, it feels like if it snows, then like the entire city is ruined. Like
in certain places,
you might as well,
yes.
Yeah, right. Like you might as well just consider it like a ghost town at that point. Like nobody goes outside, everybody cancels work, everybody cancels school. Here, like, you'll have the school bus, like, sliding down a hill, and you still have to find your way there somehow. You're just like, yeah, sorry, bud. You show up to school. This is December, all right.
Wait, I didn't even think about that. Do you guys not have snow days?
Not really. It has to be, like, minus 50, and it has to be, like, yeah, the conditions have to be so bad that it's, like, physically impossible to actually travel anywhere.
So sad. I cannot explain to you that Americans in the chat sound off. The sheer elation. I know I hype things up, but I cannot explain to you when mom knocks on your bedroom door and you're like not awake yet, but you wake up and you're like, what? It's 8:05. I'm late. She's like, hey, school called to our landline. Ooh. There's no school today. You are like, oh my God. Because when you're a kid, like, you know, weekends are the only free days ever.
Yep.
And it's a Tuesday and I don't have to go to school and I get to sled? Like,
dream come true.
It genuinely, some of my happiest memories of my life are snow days.
Yep. I do remember a couple of snow days, but it had to be really, really bad. And there were some times where, like, you would expect there to be a snow day. You're like, okay, there's no way that, like, you can even physically get to the building, right? And turns out that if you were one of the brave ones to do just that, you would show up and there would be, like, 5 teachers in the whole building and, like, maybe as many students. And you'd be like, well, it might as well be a snow day then. And they continue with classes and stuff, and it's kind of just a joke because it's like, well, we're not going to teach classes if there's nobody here, so...
Oh yeah. Also, there's this thing where you would either keep the radio on or you watch the news, and there's the ticker on the bottom shows schools as they come up, and you're like waiting alphabetically for your school to show up, like, please God. And potentially even better is when you're at school and at like 10 a.m. it goes over the intercom like, go home.
You're like, yes,
Yes.
please.
But yeah, the saddest thing, I am the last generation, I would say, that gets snow days. Because now with Zoom, you just have school online if it's going to be a snow day, which is so depressing.
Come on, Mario. There we go.
Like, I had snow days in college, but that's not going to happen for anyone anymore.
Especially not after the pandemic, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what's so sad. It's done. Kids won't know snow days anymore.
Yo. Just get online.
What are we, Canada? It's just a little joke for you there.
I think the joke killed the run, 8F. How do you feel?
I feel so good.
I hope so.
What happened to Games Done Quick, asks a chatter. What do you think they mean by that?
When did it get so diverse in its content?
See, maybe they aren't even talking about that. Maybe they're afraid something's happened.
It's okay. Games Done Quick is healthy and alive. I promise.
Oh, thank God.
It's in good standing. It's recovering well. Was it ever in a bad place?
Before I was an employee, certainly.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
You're really bringing it back.
Yeah, I think
Really
I
bringing it back.
elevate, of course, but that's just me. So you mentioned like, first of all, the phrase "south of the border" is so funny to me because that means Mexico in my brain. But you mentioned cities that like shut down when it snows. There are certainly a lot of places like that, like in upstate New York and in like North Dakota, Michigan, Wisconsin. Like that does not shut down the city, especially in cities where chains are allowed on tires. Like snow doesn't really change anything, but there are places where inclement weather like truly shifts everything. Here in Los Angeles, where I live, it does not rain very often. There's like 2 weeks out of the year where it rains consistently in like December. Other than that, it rains maybe once a month. When it rains, people go they go nuts. People can't drive when it rains. They're like,
oh my gosh.
What's this stuff? What's all this stuff? What's this icky paint like goop?
It's moving.
It's moving. Truly, like, it boggles my mind. Like, oh, I'm gonna hide
just for rain.
Yeah, truly. Can you imagine if it snowed?
Yeah, everybody would they would break down.
The systems would collapse.
It would be a crisis, yeah. And I mean, I guess we have proof of concept because Texas last year, so.
Yes, the whole state literally dissolved when it snowed. Oh, I almost made a political statement. Uh-oh.
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 Can't have that.
About a certain member of Congress. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. GDQ's
wouldn't have
really
anything to do
going
with-
downhill.
Wouldn't have anything to do with going south of the border, would it?
No, it wouldn't have anything to do with traveling to Cabo San Lucas in a time of crisis.
Absolutely not. No, that would be, I mean, that just sounds ridiculous. Not like that could ever happen in real life anyway.
GDQ showrunner calls out GOP senator.
Not clickbait.
I guess I should make a proper disclaimer. I do not speak for my organization. My opinions are my own.
That's true. We're just going fast in the children's video game.
Yes.
So. Oh, that's not how you get up there.
That doesn't look very fast to me.
Not really. I'm kind of making a grimacy face at this run right now.
Oh, it was Cancun, not Cabo? Okay, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, make sure you get your vacation destinations correct, please.
That's the most important part of the story. All right, but where did he go?
Where did he go, though? Oh, that's really nice.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah. All right, run is saved.
Okay, I just want you to know that you're what, 3?
All right, the run is not saved.
All right.
That run didn't want to survive, I guess.
What I was gonna say is you were either 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 on DSS.
Yeah, actually, this trick is not easy. I promise you, it is not easy. I would say the only reason that we do it in runs is because it's so big, like close to the beginning. If it was not, we would not be so, I guess, willing to do this trick because it is not easy. It literally, like if they put this trick at the end of the run, we would probably still not be doing it in runs because it's very, very difficult.
Says the guy who goes for 2 DSS.
We'll talk about that when we get there. But yeah, it's basically in the same ballpark. I would say those tricks are like essentially the same difficulty. And it just so happens that this one's at the beginning, so more people have kind of started using it, but it's not easy at all. Because the plot of land that you're trying to aim for on that wall is at a specific height, and it's like probably the size of Mario's shoe. So in order to get it, you have to time all of your jumps really well. You have to time all of your cap throws and your dives and stuff really well. You obviously have to aim as well. It's not easy.
I'd like to say a few things that have happened in the chat. A few people are calling me out for jinxing it and being the responsibility for the run ending. That's okay. I accept that responsibility.
As the show host, yep.
But I cannot bypass this comment. It's very funny. This chatter says, it's still relevant because he did set a PB for how quickly you can flee a state in the middle of a disaster. Really funny.
Okay, that chatter wins.
That's good. We stand. And Ray says, excuse me, it's called Bouncy Bowser Skip ADEF.
Yes, there is a contention. So, you know, the community is really good at naming things, especially when it comes to not wanting people to name things after things. Yeah, we're just really good at naming things in this community, I think. And sometimes we argue about whether a name is good or if it should be called something even more awesome. And that trick is one of them. There's either 2DSS, which stands for 2D section skip, or Bouncy Bowser Skip, because it's way more fun to call it that.
Nah, dude, 2DSS is second Dino Skip Skip.
In the room with no dinos.
Well, that's because
we
you
do
skipped
be
them.
skipping.
That's because you skipped them.
Dinos where? I don't see them. We skipped them.
Skipped them
Get
twice. So nice I skipped it twice.
That's right.
What was it? I had something to say. Oh no, it's gone, dude.
I'm sorry. That I scared away.
I got it. That happens in Breath of the Wild too, but not to the same extent. So like Bomb Impact Launch was the original name for wind bombs.
Right.
And I think Bomb Impact Launch is cooler personally. But BIL was phased out because certain community leaders thought Wind Bomb was cooler, and their army of gamers decided to, anytime you said BIL, to be like, actually,
yeah.
so-and-so calls it Wind Bomb. And truly no hate to any of those people. I like all the individuals in question. It was just very funny to me. And then chatters took it upon themselves to be like, nah, it should be called Boomy Zoomy.
Yeah.
Which I
that.
truly hate. And I'm glad that's not what it is. But in my chat specifically, there's this newer trick called Bliss, or Bowlift Smuggle Slide. And I think Bliss is a super cool name. I like the acronym. I like that you can say it as one word instead of having to say all the letters. It's great.
Yeah.
But people in my chat are adamant that we call it Wiggle Bomb.
That's the new speed tech that like gets you everywhere now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that trick is, well, it's revolutionary. You don't even do any bullet time bounces anymore in the any percent speedrun, right?
So yeah, bullet time bounce is a whole other thing. BTBs, I think Player 5, who's the current world record holder, still does the BTB to cryo and also the BTB to castle. So the bullet time bounce to castle versus the bliss to castle is actually relatively close.
Okay.
If you do an optimal BTB, I think it's slightly faster. But there are also some benefits to doing BTB instead of the bliss because the BTB gives you a higher chance of this door being unloaded that you need to be unloaded.
Gotcha.
Because it loads the world a little bit slower. So the answer is kind of.
Right. Seems like the bliss strat is the safe strat.
Yes, you do not, if you are going for just like a pretty good any percent time and not like a god tier time, you do not have to do any BTBs anymore, which in my opinion actually opens the game up a lot for newcomers to be better. I think my PB is a good example of like, I just don't like the BTBs in any percent very much. So like if you did my any percent route, you could get a pretty solid time without any BTBs.
Right. Yeah.
Granted, BTB is really cool and it's a little bit sad, but if you want BTBs, there are other categories that still do them.
That's right. Yeah, there's a lot of cool speed tech in that game. It's been fun watching it kind of unravel because I've known about speedrunning for a long time, and I've been involved in speedrunning at different points of my life. I did Super Mario World back when Justin TV was still a thing.
Let's go.
So, yeah, ages and ages and ages ago. So, but to kind of be in it and be involved in it and have it be, well, something that I do for a living, and quite frankly, it's fun to watch games like that kind of be born and then evolve and then change as rapidly as they have. So
it's an interesting era for speedrunning.
Yeah. And Zelda games like typically evolve into something that's like almost unrecognizable, which is always fun.
Oh yeah.
That's not the alcove, Mario. You missed a little bit there.
One of my favorite things about Ocarina of Time specifically is that like for a long time, every year we'd be like, okay, this is as broken as it gets.
Yeah.
And then now we don't think that anymore because every year something nuts happens.
Yeah, you just kind of take it as fact that it's going to be more broken one day.
Right. It's just going to keep getting broken. I have no doubt in my mind. The stuff that's getting found is like harder and harder. But it's so cool. Anybody have any plans for Mario Day? Mar-10 Day. Bird.
Oh, yeah.
Hiya.
That bird just flew away. Not my friend. I thought all birds were my friends, but not that one. Here,
I'll tell you what I do have plans for. Today, 306, is an arguably more important day. Today is Aggron Day.
Oh, yes.
Because Aggron's Pokedex number is 306. And gamers, sound off in the chat with your Aggron notes.
Any tappers?
Oh. There has truly been a tap revolution in speedrunning since I added that emote.
Yes, everybody's got a tap now.
It went from me to you, and then it just exploded.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody has a tap emote now. Now, I must say, I have to come clean.
Okay.
I am not the originator of the tap. I got it from somebody else. I know.
Okay. Were they a speedrunner also?
No. A chatter of mine was a subscriber of theirs and posted their tap emote in my chat, and I was like, oh, this is very good. I will be stealing this.
Yeah, I kind of figured that like Bongo Cat probably started a revolution of some kind.
Well, yeah, Bongo Cat is also bigger and the impetus for all of it. I'm like 100% memeing when I am like, you stole this.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Bongo Cat obviously is the originator of the actual like thing. But I saw it first in Vixie's stream. And they have very good emotes.
Yes. And then you brought it to speedrunning, and it's been a curse on us all.
It surely has. It's the meta now. I'm sorry.
If you don't tap, you can't sit with us.
That's true. There's no snow day today, and we are in the lunchroom, and you cannot sit with us.
You're all just sitting there tapping on the table.
Teachers are begging us to stop. Oh my god, even Baru has one.
Of course. Oh, that's very angry tapping, though.
Yes, it is.
I don't know if that is the same.
I like this Fall Guys beam one if you scroll up a little bit.
Oh, look at him go.
I really like that.
That's so fast.
Muley, who made the 8F tap emote, we did toy with the idea of doing like a hyperspeed
Yes.
version.
Always good.
But we settled on, I like the speed that Agron is at.
Yeah, it's always fun when you get animated emotes to just have like a speed version. Maybe that's just the speedrunner in me that wants to go fast all the time. All right.
All right.
I have a good feeling about this one. I say that right before DSS.
Hey, Dangerous, do you have a good feeling about this one?
I do, of this one. Not the next one. This is the one.
Okay.
What happens if I PB before the show ends?
Show dies.
Oh.
No. We'll figure something out. You just do nipple percent for the rest of the stream.
I could do that, yeah.
Or you do more any percent runs. Gnarly.
Nice.
Gnarly. Yeah, we typically just like, if a challenge and challenger approaching ends early, or if PB Precipice like ends early or whatever, we typically we'll just be like, oh, dude, do you know a shorter category?
Right. Yeah, and any percent tends to be the shortest category when it comes to like accomplishing game objectives. You know, ones that the game actually sets out for you.
Yes.
But you know, we can come up with something memey. We could do festival percent or something, which is just any percent but the first half, basically.
Just, oh boy, this is a deep cut. Did
Yeah,
Dangerous
it is.
get out of prison from the last episode? And if so, is he going back today? I forgot about speed jail.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's basically they have given me a ransom, and the ransom is get a PB on this show or go straight back to jail.
Yeah, they let him out just for this.
All right, we'll give you a chance, but if you don't PB, it's back in the cell with you.
That's actually how the criminal justice system should be.
Speed run for your liberty.
Mario Odyssey, any percent every time.
Handy for people who have never played it. It's like, yeah, sure. I just have to beat the game.
No, you have
Pretty
to get a
sick.
58.
Oh, well, okay, that changes things.
Even if you haven't been found guilty, this is just how judgment is decided now.
That's true. You know, there's going to be a lot of people in jail.
This is dystopic.
That would mean that literally only 14 people are not in jail as of this moment.
It's a beautiful world. The world
really
is
do be.
ruled by 14 Mario Odyssey any percent runners.
The oligarchs of the new age.
Oligarchs of no one.
True
They
that,
play
I
to an
guess.
audience of 0. No, they play to an audience of 13.
That's a good point, yeah. I mean, they got to learn their strats from somewhere, right?
So do they also run the jails?
I guess somebody has to,
Because
right?
the wardens and the cops also have to be in jail. Because I guess now the universe is not just if you get arrested for something, we find out if you're guilty based on 58. Now it's just if you don't have a 58, you go to jail. Which feels a lot harsher.
It does feel a little bit dystopian, I suppose. Maybe a little bit.
Parole board precipice. Oh my god. That is really funny.
One of my favorite comments is in the chat right now. If you need any help on the game, let me know. I've beat it once. So I know what I'm doing.
Dangers. When you're on, I just realized it's purple bird precipice.
That's true. That's a very good catch.
And when it's just me, it's poopy boy precipice.
Is that canon?
That's canon.
Well, the more you know.
The more you know. Oh boy. Oh, guess who showed up in my chat yesterday?
Who showed up in your chat yesterday?
I told you to guess.
Santa Claus.
No, someone more magnificent even.
What? Well, I can't believe it, so I guess I can't guess.
It was Martin Baseball.
Oh, Martin Baseball, of course.
Yeah, Martin Baseball showed up in my Twitch chat, genuinely, yesterday. Which is, I think, the first time that's ever happened.
The legend of Martin Baseball.
Martin Baseball shows up here, but usually
Yeah.
Challenger approaching. But Martin showed up in my Twitch chat yesterday.
And how did that go?
It was great. He said baseball.
Good. I would expect nothing less from Martin Baseball.
Oh, pretty boy precipice. Oh, ooh, ooh.
I mean, that is a fitting name for the show, considering ADEF is the one hosting.
Oh my god. You shut up right now. Yeah, our boy Martin. Do you think Martin's short for anything?
Martinus. That's my guess. I'm sticking with it.
Martinus. That's good.
I'm just doing roll cancels all over the place. You don't even know.
I don't.
But I'll point them out if you want me to let you know.
So every time there's a roll cancel, say roll cancel.
Can do. Starting now.
Okay.
Roll cancel. I'm going to get really sick of that, I think. Also, I'm going to be trying to think about when I have to say roll cancel, and it's going to mess me up.
You do not have to do this.
That too.
Also, yeah, I think our mod has possibly the best answer, which I also thought of, which is Martinique,
Martinique.
which is a place.
I was going to say Montague, but that kind of strays from the Martin.
Well, there are lots of names that are short for names that don't seem like it.
That's true.
Like did you know Peggy is short for Margaret?
That was the one that was on my brain just
Really?
now. Yeah.
That's
Because it's such
my
a
mom's
bizarre
name.
one.
My mom's
Yeah,
name is Peggy,
How do you get from one to the other?
but her full name's not Margaret. See, this is the
So
lore.
confusing.
The lore.
8F's mom lore? Has that been revealed on the show before? Is anybody following at home, taking notes, like just making, a comprehensive lore dump of?
Maybe I shouldn't be doxing my mom.
Perhaps not.
Margaret into Meggie into Peggy.
I have never heard anyone called Meggie.
Megan does come from Margaret. Or at least Meg can come from Margaret.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
It is derived from Meggie. No way, dude. That's so cursed.
Since when did people call people Meggie?
That's so horrible. I hate that. Bill, short for William, always weirds you out. I think that's fair. What just happened?
I didn't get my dive out in time. I killed the run. I'm sad. I'm sad on the internet.
Hey, Dangerous, you know, are you gonna say roll cancel every roll cancel?
I think the one time that I tried to do that, it messed up my roll cancel.
All right, so we're not gonna do that. You know what we should do?
What should we do?
We should do that thing that we said we were gonna do.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We'll do it like 5 minutes from now.
Sure. Yeah. It's got to be natural, you know, the flow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Dot and Dottie from Dorothy is charming. That's an older one. I feel like not a lot of people these days are named Dorothy or Dottie. I feel like that's a pretty, like, 2 or 3 generations ago name.
Yeah, the name is dated a little bit.
It's interesting, right, how, like, names do that.
Right.
I mean, I guess, you know, it's like anything. Bike is short for bicycle and Mike is short for mycicle.
I like that.
But yeah, it is really interesting. Like, you know, lots of language goes through phases. Like I say PogChamp, you know, they didn't say that 10 years ago.
Are you sure?
Well, it existed, I think, or I don't know when PogChamp was added to Justin. Was it added to Justin or Twitch? I can't remember.
I'm pretty sure it was a JTV emote.
But yeah, it's really interesting to me that names are so dateable. Like Dottie, Dorothy, Rita, Peggy, Margaret. Like, these are female names you just, like, don't see anymore. What are male names like that?
That's actually a really good question.
I think Bob is one you don't hear anymore.
Yeah.
Like Bob is like our parents' generation. I think Bob kind of was final there. Robert, which is what Bob is short for. I don't know. I feel like I know some Roberts.
Significantly less, though.
Yes, certainly. Yeah, Black Heartwings in chat alluding to the CGP Grey video about Tiffany. Very good video.
That is a good video. And they made a follow-up or something because they had to, they found some more information. It's interesting. Interesting how far back into history you can go with silly things like the name Tiffany.
Charles, Clyde. Yeah, Chuck from Charles also is one you don't see very more. Gary.
Yep.
Albert. Charlie.
Moving. Yeah.
Bartholomew.
That's true. You don't know very many of those.
I've not met many Bartholomews, no. Franklin. I feel like Naruto is not a name I see very often anymore.
No, that's true. Yeah,
like
you're right.
That's my parents' generation for sure.
Yeah, but we're going to get old, and it's going to be like, man.
Everybody's named Naruto again.
I was going to say, like Devin is like such an old name. Nobody's named Devin anymore.
I feel
that's what the future is going to be like.
Oh,
is what I mean.
Okay.
It's like our names are going to be old one day.
I feel like Clay was never a common enough name for it to ever really be a certain generation. Like, not many people are named Clay or Clayton.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But I'll tell you, a name that I know is already becoming dated is like Tyler and Trevor.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Like, I feel like that's an early 2000s, late 90s name. Same with like Brittany.
Yep.
Like when I hear those names, I think 2005.
Yeah, that's a good point. Travis.
Travis, yeah.
When I was growing up, I thought Kevin was a lot more common of a name than Devin was, but I know way more Devins now. I think Devin is probably going to survive a little bit, because it's very trendy and it's also very like, what's it? I want to say ambidextrous, but that's when you use both hands. Not that you can like, not that it's a male and a female name.
Oh, it's like it's agendered or like it can be used for.
Yeah, just gender neutral, I suppose.
Gender neutral. That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Whereas Kevin is only male for the most part.
Oh, Shane! Wow. Shane is one that's a lot older than you would think. But definitely feels like a late 90s name.
Yeah, right? Shane doesn't sound like it's old.
Unisex.
Unisex, yeah, I guess.
David? I don't know. David feels older.
I know Davids.
Yeah, I know plenty of Davids. It's interesting. When you said you don't know very many Kevins, for a second I was like, what? Kevin is such a common name. But then I thought about it. I don't know any Kevins.
Yeah, right? I know, like, Kevin. Not anymore. It's been a long time since I've known them.
And there's also, right, there's a good point in chat as well. Like, there's also this new, you know, people have always been trans, but, and you know, existing in many places on the gender spectrum, but with society changing the way that it is, you know, it being luckily more societally acceptable to be outwardly that identity means there are a lot more people choosing their names later in life now than ever before, which is really interesting. Like from this same conversation that prompts a lot of really interesting opportunity for very unique names.
Totally. And I think people are more expressive with the name that they choose for themselves too, because parents want to be kind of safe when they choose a name for their child.
Parents.
Yeah, I guess it depends on who you're talking about, but like most parents don't want to name their child something that they're going to be made fun of for or something, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I think most of them have common sense for that. But, you know, if you name yourself, like, after you've gone through high school, you can name yourself whatever you want. You don't have to worry about that anymore.
And in the States, at least, it's always been possible to rename yourself after the age of 18. But now it's just far more common.
Yeah.
Also, we do know a Kevin Dangers. You can check in the PB Precipice Discord. I totally forgot. We both know a Kevin quite well.
Wait, I think I actually remember who it is. Never mind.
It's a person we spent a lot of time with over the last calendar year.
Yes. In Speedrunners and Dragons, perhaps?
Perhaps.
Yeah, I don't remember who it is.
Eustace is totally on its way back.
Finally got that movement. Let's go. We're gaming.
I think a lot of people do take the route of, like, if they rename themselves, to just, like, gender bend the dead name.
Yeah.
Which I think is an interesting take on it, too. Which also leads to... Man, I didn't know I had so many thoughts on this. It leads to cool, like, morphologies of existing names.
Yeah.
Like, I already said one of my family members' names, but I'm not going to do it again. But one of my family members recently chose a new name and just changed the existing one in an interesting way to a very uncommon name that I really like. And I think it's just it's very neat.
Yeah.
Hey, Dangers, is this a difficult trick where you triple jump onto this platform and then go over and collect this moon out of this chest?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Dangers, would you say Sand Kingdom is hard?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Do you think, like, you pretty often make the mistake where you hit the cactus here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I'm bad at that.
Yeah.
No, okay. All right, bud. Are you going to say roll cancel when you roll cancel here in a second?
Yeah.
God, he lied. He lied.
Yeah.
Can't believe you lied to me.
Yeah.
Is your favorite stream twitch.tv/ADEV?
Yeah.
Yeah. How could it not be?
Yeah.
Are you 7 feet tall?
I wish.
Whoa, hang on. That breaks the
Hold on.
convention. All right, this is a dumber bit than I thought it was going to be, and I knew it was pretty dumb.
We tried our best.
Well,
We need to get to a part
couldn't
of
keep
the-
it together in the first one because
The
you
first
started.
question
You
you
started laughing. I saw you holding a laugh back. We didn't even get to the second question yet.
We tried our best. We tried our best. We had to get to a part of the run where there's like new stuff happening so that there's more questions. And then I could have just been like, yeah.
That's why we're just hanging out.
Yeah.
A lot of PB Precipice is just like hanging out.
That's right. I mean, that's kind of the goal. I kind of want to do this more on my stream, just in general, you know? Not trying to steal your thunder or anything, but just like the idea of having two speedrunners just kind of doing their speedruns and just not really doing it as a race or anything, but just kind of hanging out.
Dude, if our stream schedules overlapped more, I'd be so down.
Yeah, right? That'd be so cool. We don't even have to play the same game.
Honestly, it helps me play better when I have somebody to talk to.
Yeah, you kind of let the muscle memory take over a little bit, right? You
Yeah,
stop
exactly.
hyper-focusing.
And I don't get as tilted, I think, because tilting is a problem I thought I was over, but recently I found out I definitely still deal with. And
Yeah.
I find when I'm on a call with someone, I like don't tilt. I'm just like, oh, that sucked.
Yeah, because you're just playing the game.
Yeah, exactly. Just hanging out.
There's no pressure because, like, this is just what you do all the time. So, and I kind of get that from chat,
Yeah, a little bit.
but having an actual physical voice helps a little bit.
I agree. I'm supposed to be writing down timestamps of like highlightable moments. It's just one of the things that showrunners do because there are these like highlight reels that get edited together on the GDQ Some of the Best Segments YouTube channel.
Right, and those are super cool.
And I just have not done it for this one because I've just been talking to you. I have 3 things written down. Because I just keep forgetting because I'm just like hanging out.
Too much vibing. You're supposed to be working, ADEF. How dare you?
Oh, I thought I was on. I have the soundtrack going, and I thought I was on the Lake Kingdom music, but it's the Seaside.
Close. Different kind of water.
Yes, fresh water versus salt.
Have you ever noticed that the water in Seaside is carbonated?
I did not. I've not noticed this. You
Because
mean
it is
like
bubbling?
Oh.
The cliff faces are made of cork, which I think is cute, and the water is carbonated.
What?
The more you know.
You're blowing my mind right now. I'm having an existential crisis over here.
I can tell. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad we got over that really fast. I didn't want to call an ambulance or anything.
Call the ambulance.
Hopefully we can get to Seaside Kingdom so I can show you the bubbles.
Yeah, please.
Mario, what are you doing?
The seaside music is very nice.
It is.
Are you lighter
Very
when you
relaxing.
swim in carbonated water?
That's a
We
great
both
question.
just said so this depends on a few things, right? What's the Reynolds number of carbonated water? So the question is less about like the carbonation and more about the like the chemical content of the water. So like you are definitely lighter in salt water. Lighter is not really the right word. You weigh the same amount. It's more about like the question you're asking is, are you more buoyant in carbonated water, which is kind of an annoying stipulation to make, but the salt in the salt water definitely makes you more buoyant, or increases your buoyancy. The carbonation though, maybe. I mean, there is a lot of air content in the water. If anything, it might actually decrease. Let's find out. I'm gonna Google it. Aha! Okay, I was actually right. Carbonated water is more dense than the same water uncarbonated.
Really? Today I learned.
But it would not change the buoyancy by that much. Either way, it seems.
We're back in Wooded Kingdom, baby. You can get your jammies out, Chad.
But yeah, I think the biggest question we have to ask here is like the order of magnitude of how much carbonation there is. Because yeah, I mean, if it's mostly air, then you're not going to float more because you don't float in the air.
That's true. That's a very good point.
And so really you're like, I feel like it's pretty evident if you think about it that way, that adding more air makes you less buoyant. As fizzy lifting drink would lie to you. It's a deep cut for my Willy Wonka heads out there.
Any Willy Wonkers?
Any Willy Wonkers?
Am I allowed to say that on the GDQ podcast? I don't know. That sounds like I'm not.
Any Charlie Bucketheads out there? Oh my god, that's a DGR Dave jammy though in there. Our boy DGR David. Oh, that's a David.
That's a David. There's also Oh Hey It's David.
There's also Oh Hey It's David. Oh Hey It's David got partnered right before me. That is one thing I remember about him.
Yes. And
So
thank
did
goodness
Fant.
he worked real hard. Both of them did on
Yes,
that
did.
Fall Guys grind.
That Fall Guys grind, dude. Brutal.
It's a shame that game fell off the way that it did.
I know. All those Twitch chatters that said dead game, they're probably like
They were-
smirking.
They're like, yes, I was finally right.
Meanwhile, Triumph is like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Probably one of the hardest I've ever popped off was still when you won Fall Mania.
Oh, man. What a moment, dude.
It was like 4 a.m. I was on the East Coast, like maybe 2 or 3 a.m. I'd been in bed, like drifting off to sleep for hours, just watching it on my phone. But then that final round, dude, my God.
It couldn't have gotten any closer. Like, if any of us had won the crown, we would have won. So, like, it came down to that.
Who was in the final? Was it you and Fant?
Me, Fant, David, and our good friend Jason Dolly
Jason Dolly.
of the Disney Channel fame.
Jason Dolly lives here in Los Angeles, I assume.
Yeah. And what a timeline to live in, right? Where, like, in what other world can you say, oh yeah, you know, I entered a $5,000 tournament for a children's bean game against a Disney Channel star? Like, what? Excuse me, how? That's the life that streamers live. It's pretty fabulous, not gonna lie.
So
You get some interesting opportunities.
I was when I commentated Fallapalooza, which by the way was a wonderful opportunity, so thank you again for that.
Of course.
I commentated one of Jason's matches, and an ex of mine was a big fan of, what was the show that he was on?
The sweet...
No, he was on
Good Luck Charlie.
Good Luck Charlie, yeah. She was a big fan of Good Luck Charlie growing up, so I texted her and I was like, you're not gonna believe this.
Yeah. Yeah, my sister doesn't really care about Twitch, but when she heard that Jason Dale was like in an event that I was doing, she was like, "Oh, I'm kind of interested." It was so funny. Like, I saw him in the first Fall Mania that he did, and I was like, that guy has a profile picture like he's a Disney star. Like, I had no idea that it was actually...
That was the closest jump up to that cliff I have ever seen.
Me too. I'm glad that it was not a failure. We're going to take this nice and slow.
Actor headshots as profile pic gang rise up. Me and Jason Dolly repping strong.
That's right.
Oh my god. What is happening?
I need to settle down. I am not okay with this run right now. I'm giving myself a heart attack here.
Just
Okay.
another day on the grind. Had a few heart attacks in this Lost Kingdom, but that's okay.
As you do. Gaming.
This strat is so cool.
The triple jump to the tree.
Yeah.
And then just right underneath.
That jump is also harder than it looks. The dive to that moon that Dangers just did is like a lot tighter than it looks. And then also to have enough height to then do, or to have the right height to then do the cap throw out dive back. That is much more difficult than it looks.
Yes.
What does throwing the cap to the side when going straight do? So that is roll canceling, which we touched on briefly earlier. But basically, if Dangers is like rolling and then quickly wants to change direction or go into jumps, he will press the cap throw and the B button at the same time, like literally the same frame. And that will cause Mario to stand up and throw the cap, and it gets him out of roll instantly, but also gives Dangers the opportunity to keep his roll momentum.
That's right.
Like
the only way...
Here. Oh, never mind.
No, we just let that one ride. Because the only way to leave a roll is to let it finish or to long jump, and long jumps are kind of slow.
Which is a counterintuitive thing. Something you can tell if somebody's a new speedrunner this game is if they long jump a bunch.
Yes. I think it's a pretty safe movement option, but unlike other Mario games where long jumps are just like the king, long jumps they start really slow in this game, so if you want to use them, you typically use them to build or to get to top speed rather than to continue your speed in any way. All right.
All right. That jump is really scary.
Always, every time, still.
It's like, it wouldn't be scary if you had control of the camera. But because of the weird camera angle, like, you have to change you like long jump towards the camera, and then the camera starts to turn as you get closer. And so you have to like change the direction on both analog sticks at the same time.
Yep.
And it's like so hard to do the calculus on the fly, and it's a far jump that you're not supposed to do. So like it is, oh, it's so scary.
Yeah, there's it's generally like useful to not use your left stick at all because you'll get what's called a value dive. Value dive is basically like if you throw Cappy in one direction, you're expecting Mario to follow Cappy with the dive. A value dive is when he doesn't do that and kind of Mario goes off in his own direction. It sucks. And it can be the reason that your run dies sometimes. So you try to avoid those as best as you can. That is probably one of the best or one of the easiest places for the value dive to happen because it kind of it's easier to happen if your camera is changing, I guess. Because like if you're holding forward and then your camera turns, then your holding forward is going to be over here suddenly, right? So.
Right.
Okay, that was not the worst Night Metro.
There's a question in chat. What's your favorite color of moon in this game?
I really like the Bowser moons, the red ones. They remind me of like cinnamon hearts.
What is cinnamon heart? What is that?
What? Surely you know what cinnamon hearts are.
Well, based on my question, I would say it's pretty evident that I don't know what that is.
Really? Is that a Canadian thing?
I don't know.
I'm confused. They're just like, you usually get them during Valentine's, and they're just like little red hard candy hearts, and they taste like cinnamon.
Worth noting, I don't eat candy.
Ah, okay. That
So
could do it.
My knowledge of candy is much lower than the average person.
We'll have to hear from chat then. If cinnamon hearts are a thing.
I like the Seaside Kingdom moon color. I think.
Aren't they purple there?
In my mind, they're light blue. Am I thinking of lake?
Now you've got me all confuzzled. Maybe I'm confusing the two.
I can confidently say I do not like the Metro color, which is interesting because orange is my favorite color, but this is like a weird peach.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Google
Kind of
this.
A more neutral color. Light blue is luncheon. That's right.
These appear to be a Canadian thing.
Interesting. I had no idea.
Adef, did you know that the water in Seaside is carbonated? I had no idea. I wish somebody would have told me that 15 minutes ago.
Maybe, yeah, maybe like 15 minutes ago. Well, now you know, so.
Now I know.
That's what I was supposed to do the first time we got here.
Oh my God, it's the furthest we've ever been.
We've arrived at the precipice of the show.
In the words of Samwise Gamgee, one more step and it'll be the furthest from home I've ever been.
Just keep saying that over and over again.
There actually is, I don't know if you've seen this.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Really funny.
It's like one of those videos where X happens and then they say the thing.
Every time Sam takes a step, he says it's the furthest from home he's ever been. It's so long.
I bet.
Because my favorite thing, though, is like, it'll be hours of that clip if it's a Sam and Frodo segment of the film. But then you cut to like Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas, and it's like 10 minutes of freedom. You get like it's just the movie for 10 minutes, and then it cuts back to Sam. You're like,
oh yes.
No.
Please don't be walking. Bullseye. Nice. I'll take that.
Hey, Adef, will you ask Dangers the name of the giant octopus boss? No.
All right. I guess we've solved that.
It got taken down? Yeah, I bet it did. I'm sure New Line Cinema's copyright team had a thing or two to say about that.
This was in the days of the internet where that didn't matter.
Hey, Dangerous, what's the name of the giant octopus boss?
You want to know the name of the giant octopus boss?
I don't. They do.
Oh, they do. Well, I sure could disclose that information to them,
Yeah.
but I hope they have a pen and paper handy because I'm only saying it one time.
Okay, one time.
And it's Brigadier Mollusk Gunster the Third Defendable Blame. So if you didn't get it, then you snooze, you lose, I guess.
I snoozed, I lost.
Yep, that's unfortunate. But it wasn't for you, Adef. It was for
No,
them.
no.
All right, making it to the back half of the game. Like I said, it's kind of scary to be in this position because I am only allowed to lose well, I've gotten some golds since then. I'm only allowed to lose 17 seconds for the rest of the run, so. But hopefully we just don't do that.
Good luck, have fun.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my God. I'm really bad at my job. I just realized I didn't do the thing that I'm known for doing.
What?
There's the most gamers in right now that there have been for the whole show, so this is a good opportunity, actually. There is a place where you can get this all the time. You can watch Dangers play this game on the regular, and he's quite good. And if the PB doesn't happen today, which it will, don't worry. But if it doesn't, it will happen soon. On a channel.
I am on the precipice.
Twitch.tv/Dangers, and it would mean the world to me if you would follow. It would mean the world to me.
Well, shucks. Thanks, Adef.
Well, shucks, no problem. The link is in chat. Click it and click follow. It's 2 clicks.
15 seconds of your time. No more.
If you're on mobile, just swipe the screen down so that this stays in the bottom as the little picture-in-picture thing. And then go into the search bar and just type Dangers. The premise of the show? Exclamation PB.
Nice. We kept the dude alive. Let's go. So those spinies, when they all fall into the poison, it spawns the moon. If you want to save 0.5 seconds, which I always do, of course, you leave one of them alive and you kill it on your way by. And that just means that the camera won't move as much. A lot of things are kind of initiated by the camera panning to a certain location. It's the reason that we go into first person at the beginning of Cap Kingdom when we pull the lever. The more you know. We can save a lot of time by good camera operation, I guess. I like the moon color in snow as well. Very orange creamsicle vibes.
Orange is my favorite color. I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, this is a much better orange than the Metro Kingdom is.
Sometimes I get YouTube comments on the Speedrunners and Dragons YouTube channel that I want to share with the group, but I don't want to share all of them because then it's less special. So I'll share the really excellent ones, which there are lots. There's lots of people who say lots of very nice things. But I feel like this one is good to share with you right now that I just got.
I'm waiting.
Okay.
Please share.
This person on Campaign 1, Episode 1, because a lot of people now, when they finish I'll give you a second.
Easiest trick in the game.
Nice.
Go ahead.
That's Snowdram. That's
That is
going in the
Snowdram.
highlight reel, baby.
Yes, that's the other trick that's named after Dram that has nothing to do with the trick that Dram came up with, that he did not want us naming after him. But we did, because Of course we did.
So this person on because a lot of people are like finishing campaign 2 and then going back and watching campaign 1, and half the
Right.
comments I get now are like, "Where's campaign 3?" Which,
course.
like, yeah, me too. So, though it really is my fault. I needed a break. I was so burnt out on writing. But soon.
Soon TM.
TM. Anyway, this comment says, first off, this series is super fun. Secondly, I'm so happy to find another person who can make that bird noise with their 2 hands.
Oh, yeah.
Crying emoji, the signal, XD.
If I was not speedrunning, I'd do the thing.
Okay, this is definitely my favorite moon color. It's really good. I like the purple.
It is very good, isn't it? Like pink purple.
Wait, Pinky like the ghost from Pac-Man?
Yeah, that one.
Okay. It does kind of look like pork now that you mention it.
Yeah, right? And when we get into the water, you'll see it's bubbling. Because we're in Bubblain. Okay, sure, I'll just not have inputs. That's fine.
Oh, it is bubbly. What the heck?
Yeah.
How did I never notice? I mean, obviously I've seen the big bubbles, but that's pretty classic for Mario 3D games underwater.
Ooh, got it. Nice.
So this is a relatively new addition to Any Percent.
It is, yes.
In the grand scheme of things.
Probably the newest time-saving trick that we have. And it's called Fish and Dips. I love that name. Because we already have a fish clip, so we can't call it fish clip again because we can't call it fish clip 2. That would be silly.
It's Seaside Train.
Yeah, Seaside Train. Correct. Now you're catching on.
Now I get it.
A trick is either called DSS or it's called DRAM or it doesn't exist. Those are the rules.
De fish skip.
And here's the fish clip. We can just kind of abuse the capture a little bit to get out of bounds again. 2 times in the same kingdom. I think that's kind of fun.
Oh wait, sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, exploring this kingdom out of bounds is like something else too. You can go pretty far.
We should call this FDSS, or Fish Dino Skip, because
Yes.
you skipped the dino.
Yeah. I mean, did you see a dino?
I didn't see one. We skipped
didn't
even
see a
seeing
dino.
it, hence skip.
That's right. Exactly.
Yo, fish and chips is an underrated food stateside. Like, obviously in the UK, it's, universally acclaimed, but it is not a bar and grill food that people order very often in the US, I feel like. I mean, they do, obviously, but not as much as, say, like a burger. But, like,
Yeah.
a good fish and chips with, like, a good tartar sauce is, like, top tier.
Absolutely. 100%.
What's your go-to bar food?
I usually go for the beef dip, like a French dip.
Okay. When you said beef dip, I was like, what is he talking about? But a French dip, I got you.
Yeah, I guess that's another Canadian thing. It's calling it a beef dip.
Do you like, what's that? It's a very poutine. Do you like
Do
poutine?
I like poutine?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's a very Canadian thing.
What's not to like? Fries, cheese, and gravy.
I find it,
Brie just
I don't know.
is very heavy.
Sometimes, like, when a food requires fries to be wet, I'm not thrilled, but poutine is good every once in a while. I'm not an immense fan, but I do like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you make the fries crispy, then
See, this is
then
a
you're good to go.
This is a stratagem I've not had.
Mario's in the cutscene, just minding his own business there for some reason.
Hey, Dangerous, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
If you get out of luncheon, which first of all, luncheon, maybe I'm going to change my mind. This is the best moon color. This is the one I meant. When I was thinking light blue, this is what I was thinking of. But
Of course.
when you get out of luncheon, assuming you get out of ruined, and you get to Bowser's, can you please make it a pizza?
Make it a pizza?
I said this in your chat the other day, and you had no idea what I was talking about.
I still don't.
Okay, I guess this is an OG Dangerous reference. But you used to do this thing where on some of the story moons in Bowser's Kingdom, when you pick them up, you can throw Cappy, and it looks like Mario's making pizza.
Oh, yes. Okay, I'll make it a pizza.
Do you remember
I can
now?
make it a pizza. Yes, I think so.
Okay. I was so disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I was really disappointed. I cried. When I was like, can you make it a pizza? You were like, what do you mean? I was like, what?
You don't make it a pizza anymore?
You don't make it a You don't even remember making a pizza. Is my follow age that old?
Yes.
Also, is it
You
follow
are
age
one of the
or
OGs.
followage?
Followage.
Because I like followage.
Makes it sound like some sort of shrubbery.
I wonder who has the oldest followage in my chat that is active. Maybe my brother.
I know, like, one of my very first followers, like, pops in every now and then.
Is there a way I can check this without them just like being in my chat?
I don't know.
Maybe in a VOD. Let me find a VOD that I know my brother is in. GDQ channel does not have followage.
Gaming. Glad I got that jump. That was a scary one. Bum 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 bum.
All right. Where's my first 3D Zelda? I know my brother will be in there. Well, he's probably in the Skyward Sword run. Let me just go here. I know this is not important to anyone but me, but okay, here he is. No, if you click on his name in a VOD, it just takes you to his channel.
Oh, that sucks.
Let's see when I followed GDQ. I've been following GDQ since December 30th, 2012.
Dang.
Oh, Ray has the hot tech for me here. Change that URL to your channel and their username. My brother has been, wow. My brother has been following my Twitch channel since December 11th, 2012. Wait, is that the same day I just said for me? No, I said December 30th for GDQ. So yeah, my brother's been following me since 10 years ago.
That was a really good luncheon.
Very nice.
An unforgettable luncheon.
My Twitch channel was created 4th of March, 2012. Oh my God, that was 2 days ago. Oh my God, my 10-year anniversary on Twitch was 2 days ago.
Yo, happy anniversary.
A decade. That's actually stupid. Oh my God. I don't know how I feel about that. Danger's yours was created 3rd of January 2017, though I know you had accounts before that.
Yes. My Justin TV account is lost to the void.
Now, the real one is, let's see how long I've been following Patrick. It doesn't say for some reason.
Interesting.
Weird.
All right. Ruined Kingdom is really exciting, and yeah, there's a lot going on for sure, and it's extremely difficult.
It is a cool boss fight.
I mean, yeah, aesthetically, very, very cool. I was not expecting there to be a dragon in my Mario game, but here we are today.
Especially not one that like has really high res textures. Like,
yeah,
just does not fit the cartoon aesthetic at all, but in like an interesting way.
Yeah. I mean, this game kind of skirts along that line a couple of times. You know, like with the realistic people in New Donk City, for example.
Right.
That's a good aesthetic choice.
The fight is cool, though. This sort of like damage boost strat to be up here really early is pretty interesting.
Okay, Mario?
Of course, the common opinion, right, is why isn't Ruined a more holistic world?
Yeah, and
Kinda
Cloud as
depressing.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of skimped out a little bit on providing something interesting to do with the theme.
Like, when I first entered this, I was like, Dark Souls in my Mario game?
Yeah.
And then it was just this.
It had the opportunity to include, like it could have been the spooky world, you know? You could have booze or something.
Oh, yeah. There's no spooky world in this game.
Yep. Nothing like that. So, no ghost houses, nothing. Not a single boo in sight in this game, actually.
Oh, yeah. Which is interesting because the boo power-up in Mario Galaxy is basically a capture.
Right, yeah. More or less. But maybe that's why. They're like, oh, we've already done this. Oh, a little Ruined time save? Okay. 2.6 seconds lost in Ruined. That never happens.
All right, Bowser's Kingdom is a tricky kingdom.
This is where the run gets made or broken, basically. There's a lot of complicated movement. It basically puts all of my platforming skills to the test. Let's see how it goes. Roll cancel.
Through the fire and the flames. That jump scares me every time.
Oh, too early.
I mean, you basically made the pizza.
I'm making a pizza.
You make it a pizza. Thank you for indulging.
You're welcome. I got you.
Is there a Luigi unlock at the end of Odyssey? Yeah, you hold L on the title screen, you get to play as Luigi.
True. All right, probably one of my favorite parts of the game coming up here. If it goes right, anyway.
The moon things?
Yeah, the shards.
I recognize moon things is not very descriptive. Good backup. Nice.
Beautiful.
That is really difficult. What Dangerous just did. That is like stupid hard.
Whew. I'm glad I got that part though, because that's the part that loses me the most time most of the time. Not so bad just losing time on dive back. I can accept that.
I feel like that happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
This is also the that was the spot, the segment where my all-time favorite challenger approaching moment happened.
Yeah. What rhymes with follow for Thunderbore?
That is the hardest I've laughed on GDQ, no question.
I'm so happy.
Follow Thurbunderbore, whatever he said. Oh my god, it's absolutely sent me.
Oh, that sucks.
Danger's trying to keep a bomb around, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right. That one, like that. I don't think it's actually faster to do on the second cycle, but I did want to show it off. Now it just kind of hangs in the air. Oh, there we go.
I feel like it probably still saves time.
Maybe.
It's pretty fast.
A fraction.
Yeah, I guess the thing that might be worth mentioning, especially with the like shard collection segment, there's this mechanic, intended mechanic, that is just like super powerful that Dangerous has used a million times in this run already, but never really talked about it because
I don't even think about it anymore.
But if you throw Cappy and then shake the controller, Cappy goes further towards something that is collectible or capturable, which is like how the dram in Metro works, how the dram in Sand Kingdom works.
Okay.
Still ahead.
We're still in the green. Probably want to get our copium out, chat, because I got to play really good to make this work. But yeah, the dram is really important. The homing is, yeah, Cappy's most important thing that he does. Okay, we're going to go around, I guess. Have to do this without a camera as well. Love that movement so much.
This is my favorite capture in the game.
Bird.
It just like feels so cool to control. And it's such an interesting way to interface with the world. Like there aren't many captures that like this dramatically change platforming.
Yes.
It's really cool.
I think the bullet bill is up there with my favorite captures as well. You can do a lot of cool stuff with them.
And such a traditional Mario enemy. It's cool.
Yes.
Good luck.
Thank you. Nice.
So
Climb was very good.
Dangers is trying to beat Mecha Brutal in one here. And how this works is the boss kicks you away when you're on top of it after breaking one of the like spheres. So you use clever Cappy movement and jumping in order to be as high as possible so that when it kicks you away, you have the ability to get back without being knocked to the ground. This is very difficult, especially the way he's doing it. Dangerous is going for a very fast way of doing Mecha Brutal. Nice. Very nice. That was so clean.
Extremely clean. That's what you like to see. All right. So PB is still on the table here, which is very interesting. Now, there is one little caveat for Moon Kingdom, and that's that we were talking about golds and best segments.
Did you 2DSS in your PB?
I didn't. Well, I did, but I lost enough time that like, I lost the same amount of time that a 2DSS would have lost. That like I had to go for it. It was do or die, and I made it. But my gold does have 2DSS in it, so like, if I choose to take it safe and just take like the tiny PB, which I could do if the rest of Moon Kingdom is really clean, I could like choose to play it safe. Then I lose 7 seconds, right? Because, oh, well, that's not good. Please? Okay. I might have to go for 2DSS at this rate. But yeah, because it's included in my gold, it means that, like, if I choose not to go for the really hard, insanely hard trick, then I lose 7 seconds by default, so... So we'll see.
We shall see. Time lost to Cappy. It sucks.
Yeah,
that
did
sucks.
suck. Because the rest of the kingdom was pretty clean, or the rest of that split was.
All right, this is it. Gamers, get your power in chat for dangers.
We could make this happen. Can I say I've never been in Moon Kingdom on 58 pace before?
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of epic.
It's the first. You're hearing it. You're seeing it here first on the PD Precipice.
As God intended. The speedrunning God, of course.
Yes. The god of speed.
All right, so upcoming is Moon Cave Skip. So this is a really neat trick that Dangerous is doing.
Trying to do.
So
very confused where the wall jump went there. But.
This wall is not meant to be jumpable on, as you are seeing, but landing in that should work. Landing in specific spots allows you to wall jump on it. Unfortunately, 2DSS looking required.
Yeah, PB's dead now.
Oh, tough.
Yeah.
Moon Cave Skip. Reaping victim after victim for time immemorial.
It's okay, we can still pull away with a really good run here. And if I do get 2DSS, that's icing on the cake.
What a solid run, though.
Seriously, yeah. The fact that I was talking about having to play really good in the late game, and I was really close to my golds in Luncheon and in Seaside and in Snow. So we kept it together, and then it just kind of started slipping away in Bowser's. But
2DSS is 2D segment skip. That is coming up in the Bowser segment after this. It's a very difficult, very stupid trick. Also,
you can say that again.
I am listening to the 4-hour Mario Odyssey soundtrack. I've just been listening to it since we started. It just so happens, I'm not even joking, the moment you entered this fight, it went to this fight's music.
Perfect. It was meant to be.
Truly.
All right, let's see. And we know how to manipulate the fight in a way that, like, we don't have to stand back and wait for Bowser to throw his hats at us. We can do a backflip like that and just be ready right in his face like that. All right, I'm still going to go for 2DSS because I think it's, like, I know that it can't save my PV. It is a really hard trick. If I do happen to get it on GDQ, I will pop my pants.
He's gonna pop his pants.
They're gonna be popped. They're gonna be popped clean off.
You're gonna scream.
So, I'm gonna scream.
So it's right here. There are these, like,
yes.
I don't even really know how this works. There's lots of, like, little ledges Bowser can stand on for a second. Danger's gonna try to jump.
Oh, he bonked his head. Let's try again. One more time. I don't like that. I want to give it one more go. No, he just doesn't want to land. If I can land on that second one, then I usually get the trick, so... if I don't hit my head. We're just going to go. We're just going to go. Go, 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 go.
Go, 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 go.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh,
I've never had that happen before. Gosh.
you saved it and then not?
Oh, unfortunate. That was actually, all of that was just RNG manip. We're going to try the 2DSS again.
Nice.
And we're going to get it this time.
You don't want
story.
you don't want to get a too good run.
That's right.
Who
Yeah.
needs a 59?
Who needs a 103? It's all about the 105s, baby.
Let's go.
Let's try that again. He doesn't want to land on the thing. Oh, that second jump is the worst one in the trick. That one. Oh, are you kidding? Unfortunate.
Really close though.
Yeah. That trick, I like to equate it as like doing, we were talking about DSS and Cascade. It's like doing DSS like a couple of times in a row. And that's what makes it so ridiculously hard. And you also have to play as Bowser, which is a capture and like not Mario. So every capture has its own kind of controlling mechanics to, to deal with.
Did you do a second 2D skip in that 2D segment? On
Maybe.
like the last jump, you did another corner jump.
Yes, I think I know what you're talking about. Just because why not,
This is pretty sick that even though you went for 2DSS 3 times, like if you had not failed 2D skip, this would have been a 59.
Easily a sub out, yeah.
Which is kind of disgusting, actually. You're a legend.
Yeah. If I had just played it safe, then this would have been a 59 easy, but I kind of wanted to show off at the end.
Nah, dude, who needs safe?
That's
Swag.
right. Like,
Swag is so much more important.
I've always thought that like GDQ runs are a good excuse to showcase what the game can do. So if you get an opportunity to do it, then I'm going to.
This is a screenshot for Twitter, my man. This, you can be like, I did this on GDQ. 58 pace.
That's pretty dang close, yeah. Pretty dang close. Just kind of fell apart in Bowser's a little bit. But like I said, I've never been on 58 pace into Moon Kingdom before, except for, I guess, my PB run. But I needed the 2DSS to scrounge the PB, so.
Well, GG Dangers.
GG's.
So we are going to take our second break rather late. But we're going to take our second break. So everybody stick around. We're going to be back in just a few moments while the credits roll here. We're going to take a break. So get up, stretch your legs, grab some water. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back, and we'll do some short, fun little stuff in Odyssey. Just to close out the day. Just some comfy little stuff. Because we've had our full 80% run. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more PB Precipice right after this. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. My name is Adef. This is PB Precipice. We got Dangers, who just showed off a killer run that was so close in Super Mario Odyssey 80%. If you want to see more attempts like that, be sure to go to twitch.tv/Dangers. If you're on YouTube, that link is in the description. If you're on Twitch, it's in the Twitch chat right now. Please do follow him. I cannot recommend it enough. But also, I have some announcements here. Your subs and bits help support weekly hotfix content like this show. Please consider supporting our daily content by subscribing or cheering. And tune in tomorrow starting at 7 p.m. Eastern for Awfully Silly, a show about games that might show up in an awful or silly block. And after that, stay tuned for That's Never Happened Before, a show about explaining glitches. Dangers, take it away.
What's going on? Yeah, I really impressed with that run, actually. Like I said, that was probably the best pace run I've ever had going into the Moon Kingdom like that. So, I mean, streaming is what I do. Speedrunning is what I do. So if you want to watch me get the 58, it's going to happen any day now. I'm on the precipice, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah,
You said the name. You said the name.
I said the name of the title. Oh my God. Yeah, so we don't have enough time to do another 80% run, unfortunately, because our show is only going for like 20 more minutes at max. So I decided let's do a little fun category. I could PB in this one too, maybe. But yeah, 8F, you know about this category, right?
I know about it. I've done it.
You've done it, in fact.
I have.
Yeah, this one's short and sweet.
It's very cursed.
It's very cursed. This category is like as old as the game is. I'm pretty sure people were talking, like memeing about this being a category as soon as they learned that you could take Mario's shirt off. So it even predates the game, you could say. Like it was a meme immediately as soon as the game came out. But without further ado, I'm going to go ahead. So 3, 2, 1, go.
God bless nipple percent.
What an incredible category. I think we've shown... I'm not sure if nipple percent has been shown in any capacity at a GDQ before. I think maybe Bayleaf did like an incentive to like switch into the boxers during his darker side run like a couple years ago. But I don't think we've ever seen the actual category on Games Done Quick. So for the uninitiated, nipple percent is kind of what it sounds like. There is an outfit in the game that is just Mario in his boxer shorts. So we have to collect 1,000 coins to buy that outfit and put it on. And that is the speedrun. It is silly, it is short and sweet, and, you know, who doesn't love a little, you know what, never mind. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the broadcast.
Let's go.
So this route is going to look pretty similar to the first, like, 3 kingdoms, except we're going to be collecting a lot more coins along the way. And that's because we need 1,000 of them. Quirky little mechanic that I'm taking advantage of there. A lot of the things in the game aren't fully rendered if they're not on the camera. And that's just a cheeky way for the developers to kind of save memory. So I turned my camera down there so that the frog that I was going to capture isn't on like a bad cycle, like hanging in the air somewhere.
Game's done nip. That's a good chat comment. That's good.
Quality content. So the minimum amount of coins that I want to leave here with is about 86. That's cutting it pretty close. I'm going to be leaving with 89, which is plenty. But this run, especially at an optimized level, is very like penny pinching. You gotta make sure that you get every coin that you can.
It's funny that this has become optimized.
Yes, it is probably the best category extension that Odyssey has, and that's not even a joke.
You love to hear it.
Yeah, category extensions tend to be like trying to find a different way to play the game. But you'll learn that it's kind of hard to do that with Odyssey without the run just becoming... Because it's a little linear, right? Like, you go through the levels in the same order every time. Pain Chomp, hello? You go through the levels in the same order every time, and, like, there's a pretty defined set of moons that are the fastest. So a lot of categories just end up being any percent except you go out of the way sometimes. Which I guess is kind of what makes this one charming, is because, like, you don't really get far enough into the game to really have a comparison to any percent. But we do get to do this. I am 100% on the day. Let's go.
That is genuinely nuts.
Yeah, I was expecting at least one of my runs to have to reset there. Do this little jump here.
That one's also really difficult.
Yes. There's a lot more going on in that jump than it looks like there is. And I can tell you that it is not my favorite. In fact, quite the opposite. I'm going to grab all these coins from Madame Brutal. And the bare minimum we want to leave Cascade with is about 318 coins. When we're finished this Madame Brutal fight, we'll have 320. So we'll be plenty. We'll have plenty. It'll be good.
I feel like we have glossed over the fact that you did not miss DSS today.
Not a single time.
You missed the jump to the rib cage once.
Yeah.
But that's not really the trick.
That's not DSS. No, that's something else. That's just kind of continuing the movement upwards. Yeah, it's quite phenomenal. I guess you play this game enough and you kind of just have the timing for the jump baked into your muscle memory. And I'm fortunate for that because it is a very easy place to lose your runs. And it can get frustrating, making it 4 minutes into the game and then having to hit the reset button. So I'm very, very glad that I was able to make some progress in learning that trick, and it's not so scary anymore. And you'll notice that my splits at the bottom suddenly only have 3 categories. There's cap and cascade, and then there's nipples. So we're actually really close to the end of the run. Like, this is a really short one. There was an update to this game that provided what's called Luigi hint arts. We've already revealed one of them. I don't know if you were paying attention, but by the big rock, I ground pounded the ground, and out popped a little 8-bit sprite. That 8-bit sprite had 200 coins hiding with it. And we basically abuse those for this category so that we can get coins really easy. There's going to be 2 of them in this kingdom that we're going to be entering now, Sand Kingdom. And then we just have to book it to another little room that has lots of coins waiting for us, and we should have enough for what we need.
I remember that time Nintendo released an update to Nintendo Switch that made the load times faster.
Yes.
That was pretty cool.
What a glorious day that was. The speedrunning community rejoiced because there was a lot of contention about what version of the game should be allowed for speedrunning, considering one version was really hard to get and Nintendo doesn't really like you down patching things. And then Nintendo also decided, you know what? Here you go. Here's 1.3, which is no different from 1.2, except for the fact that the game loads like crazy. And it sure does. It sure does load like crazy. It was enough to bypass all of the tricks of any previous version of the game, rendering them obsolete. So the most recent version of this game is the version that people speedrun. I'm going to put an asterisk on that because there are some exceptions, but they tend to be kind of niche because of the categories. Some categories require those tricks, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We use the Sphinx's treasure to satisfy our goal.
I am satisfied.
The Sphinx is also a fan of nipples, as it turns out. Willing to fund our endeavors.
Boss is not a fan.
And we just come to the shop, and this is it. Time is going to be really soon here. And time.
Nice.
Goofy little category for you. Sub 740, which is actually really good for just a one shot. But there they are.
One shot. Somebody say one shot? Well, I don't know. I guess that's it.
I guess that's where we end.
No resets necessary. That's the run.
Yeah.
Gamers, I mean, I know is a little, PB Precipice kind of has this little, it's not really even a problem, but just fun little thing where, the show just kind of ends when it ends because breaks have to happen when runs aren't happening. So sometimes things shift around in PB Precipice, but that's going to be it for us today here on the Hot Fix. That's it from Dangers. That's it from ADEF. That's it from the tech team. No show after this today, as our wonderful Frozen Flygon is very pooped from the Frost Fatales, which is a wonderful speedrunning marathon that we just saw here on the channel. So that's going to be it from us, Dangers. Any final thoughts?
Make sure that you guys go to twitch.tv/ADEF and follow the host of this stream. They do their own show, and they're just a lovely individual. Give them your support. They put a lot of work into this show and everything that they do in their content creation journey. So give them lots of love.
Shut up.
Nope.
But also thanks. Follow Dangers on Twitch. All the things that were just said about me. Just reverse flip Uno. You're been
gonna
reversed.
know you me.
I'm no youing you. Go to twitch.tv/Dangers. Lots of great speedrunning content and variety content sometimes. You never know.
That's true. You just never know.
And also, if you're the kind of person who likes speedrunners and dragons, Just keep your eyes peeled over the coming weeks/months. But just that's all I'll say. But yeah, that's going to be it for us from Hotfix today. Some announcements to close us out. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, go to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you're interested in looking at our live content, starting weeknights at 7 p.m. Eastern and weekends at 1 p.m. Eastern. And of course, if you enjoyed Frost Fatales, the wonderful all-female speedrunning marathon that took place over the last week, the rest of the VODs will be up on our YouTube shortly, so don't worry. And later this month, the Frame Fatales Game of the Month celebration will be starting March 26th on Hotfix. So, gamers, that's going to be it from us. I will tell you that this Friday, there would typically be a challenger approaching, but I will be out of town. So the next time I will see you on here will be PB Precipice on March 20th, which I think will be a link to the past.
Ooh. Right.
So stay tuned for that. But there's more Hotfix content every day. Stick around for that. And there will be a raid, so don't go anywhere. Cheers.